Hi, this is John Reed of johnerp.com. I want to talk with you some more about Twitter. So this is part 3 in my video series on getting the most out of Twitter for folks in the SAP world. This might be the most opinionated video of the series, and the reason is that I have some strong feelings about how some people deal with Twitter versus how I think the right way to deal with Twitter is. And we could talk a lot about this in terms of the context of, for example, people who get too far into over marketing their services on Twitter as opposed to engaging in real conversations. And we all have run into that if we spend any time on Twitter at all. Now, on my website, in my career blog, there's an entry which is now, it's the March 14th entry. It's on tracking the SAP market in real time on Twitter. And I'm opening up that entry now just so we can kind of take a look at it. I have some videos of my previous things embedded in here. This is Twitter part 1 and 2. It doesn't work on all browsers right now, and I'm addressing that, but the link to the videos on YouTube is here as well. So I have some things like Twitter is about conversations, not foghorns. So this is basically some opinions that I have about how to conduct business on Twitter. And honestly, everyone needs to figure this out for themselves. And it's not something that I can't give you my Twitter style any more than you should be copying somebody else's. But there's a couple things I do feel pretty strongly about. One is that I don't believe in following everyone who follows me. A lot of people who follow me, for example, I get a lot of people who are on Twitter for the first time, and they don't even have a picture on the profile yet, and they're only following me. I don't know who they're about or what they're doing. So when they follow me, I'm really flattered that I'm the first person they're following on Twitter, but I'm going to wait and see what they do on Twitter, and if they add a profile pic and a little bit about themselves and start posting. If they do, I'll eventually find them because I have keyword searches running on SAP. And if they post about SAP, which is the main reason I'm on Twitter, then I'm going to catch them and I'm going to start following them. But there is this internet cultural conformity vibe on Twitter that you should follow everyone who follows you. And I just don't believe in it. So I also don't really believe in following people for the sake of getting them to follow you, though some people do that as well. One of my friends in the SAP world, who's a fellow SAP mentor, Ed Herman, he commented on this blog entry and he liked my long hair on the pic that I used in the first 2 videos. And he points out that Tweetdeck's a great way to manage your account and track custom searches, and he's right about that. Tweetdeck is one of the preferred Twitter third-party appliances. I don't use it myself, but a lot of people that I like on Twitter do, like Dennis Howlett, who's one of my favorite tweeters, uses Tweetdeck to track all of his followers. And once you get up in the range of following, as many people as he follows, you really need to be able to segment them into groups as opposed to just tracking a live feed of everyone who's posting. So TweetDeck is one really great way of grouping those you follow into logical groups, and that makes it manageable to follow more people, which can be very effective. The other thing I really wanted to point out is that when you're on Twitter and you're checking your replies, like here's my Twitter feed with my short hair pic back up to date here. If you click on @JohnERP here or whatever, you're going to see replies, but you're not going to get all the real-time stuff directed at you because replies only track in Twitter here those that lead off with your thing. So one thing I like to do in real time through Twitter search here is to do a search on johnerp.com. Twitter sometimes is a little bit slow about updating this information, but okay, so here's not only replies to me, but if we go down a bit further, here's an example of a situation where I'm one of the people. I would not see that in my Twitter interface, but I can see that here. So I wanted to also point out that there's different ways of doing this, but it's important to realize that you don't always see everything about you unless you create RSS queries or searches like this that allow you to track certain individuals. So I recommend you read my blog post here. I go into more detail on what I think are best practices, and you'll make your own way on Twitter, and you'll do it your way. I hope you enjoy it.